All right. Okay, we're back talking about the waning moon phases now. So we've chatted about the waxing moon phases from the new moon up to the full moon. And then we had a little bit of a break. And now we're on to the waning moon phases. So I'll share my screen. And
sorry.
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 That's all right. So we're up to the disseminating moon, which is coming off the boil of the full moon. So yes, we're back into a yin phase. So it's the first of the waning moon phases. But in essence, though, I will say this, though, the full moon culminates at the full moon, and then it's actually waning.
Yeah.
So it's that 1 nanosecond of it being full, and then it starts, going off mini. So, I've lost you again, Thea. Maybe
just keep talking. It's okay. I've just got a call coming in, but I'll ignore it.
Everyone wants you.
Mental.
That's all right. Yes.
I should be back now.
That's all right. So, the disseminating moon. So it's the waning moon, and we're starting to see a bit of darkness in the moon. So you can still honor the fruits of your labor that culminated at the full moon. And it's a great time to receive with thanks and be, really grateful and thankful and honoring everything that has occurred up until the point of the full moon. And it's a time to really relax and get perspective as well.
Yeah.
It's a time to build maturity as well about the past. So it's a nice reflective time as well. And that's why I've got those grapes there. You can sit there and reap the rewards and enjoy the moment and really savor the moment and be a bit, think back on things that have happened.
Yeah.
Leading up to the full moon, and just have an understanding. It's a really good time for understanding. And to do that, we need to get a bit quiet as well. So like I shared in all the waxing phases, I've got the shadow. So they, we were just saying before, the disseminating moon, a lot of the time for us is I really like it. Mm-hmm. Like it's a really nice, just exhale and time to come off the boil. But for some people, it can feel can also feel a little bit depressing this time, and you can feel a bit regretful and wanting to go inward and start to sort of, go into that darkness. It's the beginning of the darkness. So just be aware of that as well. And that's where your journaling comes in as well, just to see your patterns on thought behaviors and things like that. And it just almost like a sense of loss. It can feel sort of like that, a sense of regret. You can feel a bit like an inward battle starting, and a bit desperate because the thing didn't happen or whatever, So they're just things to have self-inquiry on and just an awareness on, and obviously reach out if you need support with that sort of feeling. But on the whole, the disseminating moon is a really nice time to celebrate and enjoy and start to sink into that stillness and quietness of all the waning phases. So then the next one we'll talk about is the third quarter moon. Mm-hmm. So this is a yang phase. So it's, even though it's a waning phase, it's still got a yang energy to it. So the waning phases are actually really productive times to actually do self-inquiry and look upon yourself and look within. Really, really good times for that. So you could be cleaning up in the garden here with, you're still doing the work kind of thing.
Yeah.
Receiving with an open heart. So things will still be trickling in to you as well. Just be aware of what's trickling in and coming away, and just reorientating yourself. Yes, it's a good time to be self-inspired as well. And also sometimes, like from that phase just before that I was talking, you might feel like you're turning a bit of a corner at this phase, and subconsciously you're probably actually preparing yourself for the next new moon without even realizing it. Yeah. It's a very, very good time for graceful endings and letting things go without an attachment. Like it's a really, really supportive time for that. It's a really good time to actually, if you want to resign at a job, it's an excellent time to give in your notice. I wouldn't be giving in notice like on a waxing gibbous moon before full moon. These are really good times where you want endings to be nice and smooth and just, you know, go okay. So just bear that in mind. Third quarter moons are good for that. Graceful endings with it because they'll have a non-attachment to them.
Yeah.
And they're really transformative times. They're really transforming into something else. So these are great, like I said before, waning moons are great opportunities for inner work, really good for inner work. Of course, the shadow, you can feel a bit of stubbornness towards that, like not wanting to do. You might know that you need to say goodbye to something, but you're still holding on to it. Yeah, because you're fearing the change. So if those sorts of feelings come up, it's really interesting to observe them if they're coming up at this sort of time, and just then look in further as why don't I want to let go? Is it the fear of the unknown? So it can be a time of a power struggle as well, as much as it is an opportunity for excellent inner work. Inner work comes, that word work is on the end of it for a reason. And we can also be a bit lazy and a bit sloppy at this time as well, because it is the waning moon and the foot might be right off the pedal. So it could be right off the pedal and you could be really just like just not even being aware, like your awareness might really slip at this time.
Yep. I think, Shell, also I've noticed for me, it's almost like the analogy of like a garden bed, and you can just see those weeds sort of popping up again and you ignore them.
Yeah, and that's what this is, like picking out the weeds there, totally. Yeah.
So you can just sort of see little things happening in life, and then you sort of, it's almost like, oh, I haven't got the energy to deal with it, but you need to deal with it to stop that.
Yeah.
Stop popping back up again.
And we all know, like, if we leave the weeds there, they take over. Like they take over, and you just go, I had an opportunity to do something. And remember, this is a yang phase as well. So there is an element of really, you know, let's get in and do it. Like, let's get your hands dirty a little bit and do the thing. Yang is very much doing the thing.
And before it becomes a big thing.
Yeah. So it is even just little bits, you know, just little bits. So that's the third quarter moon. And so knowing that phase actually works with this last phase, the Balsamic Moon, or some people call it the Waning Crescent Moon. So this is the last phase of the 8 phases in the moon cycle. And this is I actually love this phase as well. It's a very healing and restful time, but I find I get so much inspiration at this moon phase, which sort of fuels me up for the new moon phase. So just be aware of the inspiration and the nuggets that drop in at this phase just before the new moon. It's really interesting, rather than just waiting for the the new moon, and then just, you know, just be really mindful those 3 days before the new moon, what's actually happening. So it's a time for ascending and descent. So going in and down. And the circle is closing. So very good, clean, definitive endings here as well. But really preparing the soil for the next lot of whatever you want to create. So
this is a good time, I think, Shell, for focusing with meditation.
Yeah, nice.
This is a great time for meditation.
Yeah.
I mean, meditation's good all the time, but particularly now.
Yeah, definitely. And I was going to say tapping. I mean, tapping's good all the time as well. But waning moon phases, those two, tapping and meditation, are very good tools actually to use in waning moon times. If you've never really done much with them, I would experiment with them during waning moon phases. It'd be nice. So everything comes to seed at this phase, and this actually becomes the foundation for the next phase. Yeah. This is what the foundation is. What are the conditions? What are your soil conditions that you're doing? Like, did you quit that job? Did you, whatever? Did you send out that email? Did you close that thing in preparation for the clean start that's coming up? Yep. Yeah. And it's just the circle closing. and the beginning of another circle or cycle coming up. So the shadow with this phase, there's definitely possible imbalance, a feeling of imbalance and losing grip on reality. Most definitely. It's a dark moon, you know, like it's where you know there's no light, we're only going in. It's nowhere to run or hide a lot of the time with this as well, this one. So, but like I said, for me, as I've worked with moon phases more and more, I find this is one of the most inspirational times of the whole cycle. I actually really love it. And there's such a calmness to it. Like the pace is so much slower, and it's a real good time really just to tune into that. But the shadow, you can feel possibly imbalanced, losing grip on reality and a sense of defeat and like just impossible and at a loss, you know. And remembering it's a yin phase as well, so it's got that, you know, it's got that simmering down as well. So if you're not one who has been really even aware of your yin energy and your yang energy, this can be a very a real experience when you first start doing it as well.
And I think, Shell, too, this is when, again, I mean, I know I keep referring to moon diaries, but this is another good one, because you're coming out from that cycle and you may be feeling you haven't accomplished what you wanted to accomplish and you've got a new moon coming. But that's a time to understand that those emotions of loss and defeat and stuff may be sort of welling up, but not to really dwell on that for too long. And to know that you've got another new moon coming.
Exactly. And if anything, that's what the moon teaches us, that nothing is constant. Everything is a constant flow of energy, and it's all renewable. Everything is renewable all the time, and there's always a beginning, a new beginning. But during that process, you know, you'll go through the ebbs and flows and the ups and downs and the light and shade and the yin and yang and all of that in between, because that is life as well. Right? That is life. We're not going to have this monotone. Really. And so just bearing in mind also, so we were all born in a various phase of the moon. Some people were born on full moons. Some people were born on a new moon. I myself was born on a balsamic moon, so I was actually born in this moon phase. And when I started astrology, I was like, I just had this affinity with this phase. I was just like, oh my God, and I just love it, because maybe I know now that I was born on that phase. I have to check yours, Thea, actually. I'm not sure what phase you were born. So when you actually know the phase that you were born, that's kind of a nice thing to know as well. Obviously your moon sign, but also knowing the phase of the moon that you were born in. So, you know, and it comes naturally to me, all of these things that come with the balsamic moon, they don't actually, for me, I'm very open to all this, even the shadow stuff. It doesn't actually, I don't run away from it. And I know I put that down to being born on a balsamic moon. Like I'm just was born in that sort of energy of it. So some people who were born on a full moon, they could possibly be very out there. You know, and not necessarily in your face, but open to everything and being able to deal with stuff and shine light on things, you know. And then people who are born in a new moon phase might be always optimistic and hopeful of, you know, and always, you know, so it's just interesting when you find out what moon phase you're born on. So that is the 8 phases of the moon that I have gone through. So it's really, if anything, it's discovering your own unique flow. Everyone is so unique and different, and every moon phase will be unique and different. And that's where the journaling comes in handy. I've got a moon journal. You can use whatever, you know, your everyday diary and stuff, but just tracking it. The biggest thing is tracking it, because everything in life is patterns and cycles and seasons, and and we are what we were yesterday. Like we just, you know, it's so interesting when you actually take notice through the moon phases. It's so interesting. So yeah, just pay attention, journaling, embodiment as well. That's a big thing. So even though the yang is very much doing, so is the yin. There's a lot of embodiment with yin as well. So like I said before, it's not just sitting around having cups of tea all day. Like
Be
embody.
nice.
Yeah, it'd be nice. But embody, like yin is subtle, but it's a lot of the time, it's the subtle things in life that actually make the long-term change.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it's amazing. So that's what the moon for me, and that's what I like to share with people, just to learn about different patterns and cycles. And you'll even notice it in people and stuff. Like, you know, most people are aware, like we chatted about the waxing gibbous just before the full moon and the full moon. You know, there's an energy.
Yeah.
Without people even, oh yeah, whatever, astrology moon, whatever.
Yeah. And there is with the waning as well. You can see,
Oh,
you can see that there's like a letdown, you know,
yeah.
of energy. You can feel it around you, the letdown.
Yeah, totally, totally. So, and the moon, she's all about that. And she's all about our intuition, and she helps us with our decision making, like as much as the sun does as well, and all the other planets, of course. But the moon is very much about our receptive nature and how we, you know, move through life. So very much connected to our soul growth. So that's just what I've got here. You know, you feel, embody, and evolve with her.
Yeah.
So, and it's experiential journey. So I think the sooner we, from the onset, just, you know, have no outcome in mind, even though you're making new moon intentions and things like that, be open to whatever comes.
Yeah.
On the journey.
Because whatever it is that comes is meant to be.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It truly is. And as corny as all of those things sound, sometimes we're both like been around for a while.
Yeah.
And it's true though, like it truly is. Every little thing is a tack on to the next thing.
Yeah. And there is a pattern to it, and there is a reason behind it. We may not today be able to see what it is, but just having that knowing that it's happening for a reason, the way it is happening.
Yeah. And moving through it. And that's, to me, that's what the moon helps me move through stuff, like, because I can over the time have a tendency to stay stuck in things, and when you got to move with the moon too, like as you know, chillax she is, she's always moving. She's always moving.
Good reminder. She's a good reminder of that.
So where to from here? So I was just, you know, I do readings, I have support tools on my website. You can go to my website. And Thea and I do programs from time to time. So just stay in touch with our socials and website, and sign up to my newsletters and things like that to get in touch with us, or get in touch with us wherever you're watching this. We'll have all the links and everything below. And that's what I've got there. I have said that again, basically. And with the moon phase journey, just that bit in the middle, you know, committing to yourself is the biggest bit of it all. And just committing to the relationship that you're going to have with the moon and your journey. And just, you know, enjoy it. That's the biggest thing. Enjoy it, and just be excited by it, about what's to come. So these are just some words that I asked some people that I've done readings and stuff for, about when I say the moon, what words do you think of? And these are just some words that they've given me. So it's just interesting, I thought, just to like share different things that people feel when they look at the moon, and it's all very similar. Isn't it? It all has that that nurturing, supportive feeling to it, and it all comes to me from a self of improvement, and you know, and helping. All of that is, you know, patterns, cycles, ebbs, flow, lunar, yin flow, feminine water, waves, cycles, all of that. It's all good stuff.
It is very good stuff. Very good stuff.
You know. So if you want to get your astrology chart, if you just want to go and get your astrology chart, there's so many different places online to get charts, but these two websites, honestly, I think are the most reputable for free charts. If you're just going to go and look for a chart, because some websites, they might have really pretty charts, but they're actually not accurate. So I just recommend astro.com and astro/charts.com. They're the two websites that I recommend to get a astrology chart if you're interested. Yeah. And if you've got any questions, we're here. Ready?
Yeah, we're here with our cups of tea. Oh, gorgeous.
Yeah, a little Yoda, and yeah, that's just a bit about me. Obviously, just a little disclaimer here, I'm not a doctor. And with regard to any health concerns and illnesses, always seek professional advice, should always be sought. So you are your own authority, so always check in with yourself before undertaking anything at all, and seek professional medical advice if you need it. So I'll stop my share. So there we go, Thea. Did you have any questions? I suppose you asked them along the way, really, didn't you?
No, not really. But did you want to talk about your because I mean that was a like a nice little introduction to the moon cycles, but you've got a moon cycle course.
So I've got that. So that's an intro that I've got on each moon phase. So my course is actually the 8 phases, but I have a video on each phase, and I go into specific tools that you can use at each phase. So I call what I call a support toolbox for your moon cycle. So different practices that are suitable at different phases. And I just go into a bit more depth with each moon phase as well about what to expect and the energy that comes with it. So it has a PDF and then it has a supporting video for each phase. So there's 8 videos and 8 PDFs, and then there's also the moon journal that you can print out. So that's on my website, you can get that. And you have lifetime access to that, so once you buy it, you've got it. And
no, that's really good. And I think one thing that I always try to reiterate with, especially if people are starting out have never had anything to do with the moon, they've heard that follow the moon cycles and life is going to be so much better. Just don't, if you're getting first into it, just don't be so expecting of instant change. And just have fun with it, flow with it.
Totally.
Get to feel the energy that's coming all the time. Don't rush it. I think don't rush it. And just take your time and enjoy it.
So I will say, when I first, this is probably a few years ago, maybe it was 4 years ago, when I really properly started tracking the cycles. And I started, and I think it was it was just after the full moon, so it was Waning Gibbous moon, Disseminating moon, in that time. And I discovered this moon stuff, and I was like, and I joined up to this course, and I defaulted to thinking, I should have joined at the new moon. This is what I thought. I thought I've missed that first waxing phases. Oh no, now I'm going to have to wait all the time. It's so interesting, the behavior. And now, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The sun's going to rise the next day and the moon's going to rise that night.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter, and she doesn't care what stage you come in either. So it's
she welcomes you in at whatever time you come in.
It doesn't matter. And and the phase, every moon cycle will be different. So every new moon will feel different. Every third quarter, first quarter, they all have a different feel to them. The general vibe I'll explain, but you'll notice like that last moon cycle was feeling a bit different to the next one and stuff. So, but such a supportive tool, and it's there. Oh my God, it's free. It's like you can see why there's moon medicine women and stuff like that. Like it's just.
Well, that's like, I remember since I've been getting into doing the moons, like I do my moon elixirs, the sprays, water sprays, and I don't do them every full moon.
No, when you feel like it.
Because I just feel it, and I think, I'll get a few crystals and I'll make my, I'll make my sprays up. And I think that is the thing that you have to let go of and you have to accept. It's when you start to work with the moon and different things, when you start to really honor your energetic feel. Isn't it? That's when it all starts to play out and pan out and everything starts to flow properly.
And that is definitely having grace with yourself.
Yes.
And
Yep.
holding expectations.
Yep.
Like not having expectations about what should be like. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's really, and then it's all those subtle, isn't it? It's all in those subtle realms where it all happens. It's all in those, and you can't, like you'll know it when it drops in for you, you know?
Yeah.
You just know it when it drops in for you. And you know, that's what we do. Like we try and you know, we do all these things to help people get to those spots.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why we share everything that we share and we do. So
So
all
Shell,
right.
you'll have your website links and everything up
Yeah.
in the description box for everyone.
Yeah, we'll have that there, and we look forward to seeing you for our next sharing of
Yeah. We'll have to work out what we're going to call this show.
yeah, I know. We'll have to have some name.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks,
Bye.
Lee. Bye.